what we define the word racism? What's the definition of racism?
Oh, well, I think, well, first of all, I use it as a metonym,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
just means it it covers it covers all domination of black people through colonialism, neo-colonialism, slavery, and so on. Okay, racism, it comes from race. It has the word race in there.
Ism.
All right, so there's a chapter in my book called "What Is Race." Racism comes out of the concept of race, and the concept of race was started to develop. The European elites developed it in the 17th century, and it became fully developed by the 19th century. It's a concept that says I can essentialize you on the basis of what I see. I'm going to say that your skin color has certain meanings.
Right.
You have this skin color, it means inferiority. You have this type of phenotype, this is inferiority. So I'm going to use your body, I'm going to use geography, where you're located, and I'm going to say that these are essential points of your characteristics, and I'm going to use these characteristics to say that you're inferior, and then I'm going to set up systems to put you in your place, so to speak, structurally. So racism comes out of race. There's a word in there called racism.
Can I add to that real quick?
Sure.
So I wanted to bring that out because I think that a lot of times we think of racism as like one race against the other, and I think racism has a lot to do with just how you describe it. You know what I mean? Because there's all kinds of racism. So when you have in here, can black people be racist? Now, it kind of Mauricia just spoke about a little something that's now kind of triggered in my mind that, you know, we I think a lot of times as a black race, we are so busy looking at the racism that we're getting from the other races that we're not looking at the racism that we're getting from ourselves and the level that is happening. Whereas because we live in one area code and you're from this area code, I feel like I'm better than you.
Okay,
That's still a type of racism.
Okay, well,
And we're tearing down each other as young black men in this country right now are killing each other because one area code feels that they're better than another area code.
I'll deal with that in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. And can I comment on that, please? Now, racism, isms, schisms means a lot of. So we can be racist or we can be prejudiced. The reason why we have the word racism, meaning that especially for example, in this country, we can be the majority community, which are the white, they can be racist because in UK, there are at least approximately 80% of the UK population. So if 80% of the UK population has much more opportunities because they are using their culture, I'm trying to use their culture to overthrow another people because they're of different color, then you get racism. In like what Kamal has just said, for example, postcoding, you have two groups of people and they're going against each other because they live in different boundaries. Then they start to act prejudicially against each other. So they're being prejudiced. So as black people in the UK, we can't be racist because we're not the bigger race, but we can be prejudiced. Now, in Africa and the Caribbean, where you have the majority are black skinned people of different shades of brown, they can be racist to white people in Africa because they are the majority. So racism and prejudice, it has two actual different meanings. So as Kamal quite rightly said, there's a lot of wrongness going on in terms of postcoding and things like that. But again, many of the government reports suggest, and it's evidence-based, that a lot of these post-Golden War, and we've just had our beautiful young Queen up, and I love to always get the young Queen up involved. A lot of the post-Cold War and everything that goes on is actually, part of it's actually due to institutional racism. Because when you start categorizing a group of people and putting them all in a particular area and then depriving them of resources in comparison to their white counterparts, so if we look at what happens on the inner city and then we look at the resources that's, let's say, given to colonial. Now, whilst there's good and bad in every kind, so we're not saying all white people are bad and all black people are bad or all white, but there is a strong issue around how the systems that are delivered here in the UK operate to enable all what Kamal has just said, postcode discrimination practice, prejudicial practice, or discriminative. We can be discriminative, we can be prejudicial, but as black people in this country, we actually are not the majority race, so we can't be racist in the UK, but we can be racist in Africa and we can be racist in Jamaica. What are your comments on that?
Oh, I'm with you on most of that, Marisha. Okay. The Africa bit, I disagree on that, but but coming back to your point there, I think it's really important that we stop calling ourselves racist. Mm-hmm. Black people racism comes from race. Mm-hmm. Now, if I've got a conflict with you, it's not rooted in race. It might be rooted in what Marisha just said there. You see, you deal out the resources in a disproportionate way, which is structural racism, and then people start fighting with each other, and then we call it racism. So I think what Marisha just said there is correct. You start dealing out resources in an insufficient way, you're basically creating conquer and divide among one race that are now in conflict with each other. And what does the one race say? We've got to start dealing with the races among ourselves. No, we don't have races among ourselves. We have conflicts. Now, they can be ethnic conflicts. Your ethnicity could be slightly different from my ethnicity. But this is what's in the book. Mm-hmm. We've got to stop doing it as black people, calling ethnic conflict racism. It is not. Mm-hmm. Ethnic racism is based on race. You didn't invent race. Mm-hmm. You and I can have conflicts till the cows come home. What's race got to do with it? We're the same race. Mm. So it's not racism. It's conflict created by a dominant group, like when they put drugs into the American community way back in the 60s. And then the black people start drugging themselves up and start killing each other. Then the bourgeois blacks come on the television and say, oh, black people are killing each other. Yeah, of course we're killing each other. But you flooded the community with drugs. So we've got to use the right language. We are not racist to each other. We have conflict. We have ethnic conflict. Now, coming back to Africa.
Yes.
Coming back to Africa. Yes. It's the same there. There's multiple ethnic groups that are at loggerheads with each other. Of course. Who started the loggerheads, Marisha? Who started the problems in Africa? Colonialism. Yes. Right.
Well, so part of them, yes.
Yeah. So we have conflicts on the continent between the various ethnic groups. And what do? We call it racism. We don't know anything about racism. We didn't invent racism. It's the same on the continent. You have ethnic conflicts among the ethnic nations. That's what's happening. And why we call it racism is because we're miseducating ourselves. I have a whole chapter here on race. You can't use the word racism until you understand race. That's a valid right. Point. So black people keep using the word racism because we get it more than anybody else.
That's a valid point.
We get so much racism, right? So we think we know where it comes from. No, racism comes from race.